With this, I'd request General Gautam Murthy, sir, your views.
Thank you very much, General Shankar, and my fellow panelists. Welcome. We see Dr. Tara Kartha. Welcome, madam. And we look forward to your intervention. But in case you would like to speak, you please go ahead. I can start off after you.
No, that's okay.
Sir,
It's all right.
yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
think
Then
you
I
finished
will
later.
continue.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll continue. So, General Shankar, starting off with what you said, and the title that we selected for this, that Pakistan, that Taliban breaks the shackles of slavery from Imran Khan's statement, and your uh, now intervention that when you spoke about from the times of Alexander, whoever thought they could control Afghanistan. The point is, nobody could control Afghanistan. Let's look at the recent past. The British tried desperately, they failed. Fast forward to the 70s, the Russians, then the Americans, and especially when the Russians and how the Taliban came out. General Atta Hasnain has spoken about it, so I won't dwell upon it. Pakistan always looked at the Taliban ruled Afghanistan as giving it a strategic depth. But the tables have been turned. How the tables have been turned, I'll just explain to your viewers. Afghan Taliban has recently attacked multiple locations in Pakistan, which marks a significant escalation in the cross border tensions. These attacks were described as retaliation for Pakistani airstrikes conducted inside Afghanistan, which has resulted in a number of civilian casualties, including women and children. Now, I'm going to quote a bit from the Afghan Ministry of Defense. It says it has struck several points beyond the hypothetical line. Now, which is what General Hasnain also mentioned, the Durand line. Now they're referring it to the hypothetical line. They do not, and I quote, we do not consider it to be the territory of Pakistan and therefore we cannot confirm the territory, but it was on the other side of the hypothetical line. So attacks have taken place. Now this is very, very serious. General Hasnain recently mentioned about escalation. There is likely to be escalation because earlier, if you recollect, the Pakistani airstrikes targeted hideouts of the TTP within Afghanistan, which led to significant casualties, according to Afghan officials. The strikes have killed 46 individuals, according to the Taliban government, which has condemned this air attack. But on the other hand, see what the Pakistan PM is saying. He's described it as a muh tod jawab, teeth-breaking response to the militants. Now, the strikes were conducted in the Barmal district and they are very serious. And Shahbaz Sharif then went on to PTV to say the time has come to completely eliminate these militants. Then he alleges foreign hands are supporting the insurgents. Now, which are the foreign hands, I wonder? Because India does not have a presence, Israel does not have a presence when they cannot find, when they refuse to look at themselves and what they are responsible for, the Pakistan army and the Pakistan government lay the blame at the doorstep of India and Israel. Now, we all know that India does not have a presence there, apart from the fact that we are helping people out. Our embassy has got some staffers right now, and we are providing purely humanitarian aid and carrying on the projects that were earlier terminated or held in abeyance. TTP has ramped up its operations against Pakistan security forces. We are seeing it daily. In fact, in the earlier two webinars, we have spoken about it, how more than 150 attacks in the recent months have taken place. This is a huge surge in violence. And the uh, response from Pakistan is that we will get rid of them. We will get rid of them. How are they going to get rid of them? God only knows. Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar went on to criticize the country's previous leadership, alleging hasty and informal decisions facilitated the return of thousands of members of TTP into the country. Now, if you recollect, he said this 35 to 40,000 TTP fighters And he said these policies are poor and these decisions were made over a cup of tea. What was the reference to that over a cup of tea? If you recollect, if your viewers recollect, Lieutenant General Faiz Hamid, the former ISI chief, when General Bajwa was the chief, flew to Afghanistan as soon as the Taliban took over, and he was seen preening in Serena Hotel in Kabul, having a cup of tea. When he returned, apparently he's got a lashing from the chief because he went there without his permission at the behest of probably Mr. Imran Khan himself, who was the prime minister then. Now, you see, Mr. Dar has asked this question: who opened the borders and freed TTP members over a cup of tea? Why am I dwelling upon it? Because today, the Pakistan Army and the Army Chief, ever since May 2023, the attack on the army installations and the corps commander's house took place, and it was widely publicized. After that, when he took charge of the situation, he started purging officers considered close to Imran and close to General Bajwa himself. Obviously, amongst the first victims, in fact, General Faiz Hamid resigned at that very moment. He left the army, but but General Asim Munir has, over the period of last 1.5 years, has purged all officers considered to be close. So the officers who were in touch with the Taliban, with the former TTP members, are no longer in service. Who knows, some of them may have crossed on to the other side wearing the Shalwar Kameez. But this is the situation as of today. In recent weeks, the defense minister, Khwaja Asif, has accused the Taliban of demanding 10 billion Pakistan rupees to relocate TTP fighters in the areas near the Durand line. Now, the Taliban has denied this claim, but the fact remains that it has happened. Recently, on Sunday, the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government has decided that the signatories of the Kurram Peace Accord would be held accountable for the implementation of the peace accord in Kurram district. The government has asked all signatories to hand over the perpetrators involved in the January 4 attack, when the Deputy Commissioner of Kurram was killed, and there was a compensation, and they are asking for compensation in that area. All in all, this trend points to an increase in intensity of all the crisis that is happening between the Pakistan military and the Taliban. Unless Pakistan gets a grip on the events, this is going to escalate into further tension. It has already blighted their mutual ties. The ties are going into a downward spiral. They're going out of control. It'll have a major impact on how this will unfold in the future. There are too many things which are happening too fast, and that is why it is always interesting to keep oneself updated. And General Shankar and I keep having these dialogues on this and getting others. Now, Pakistani generals and Afghan Taliban were very strange bedfellows in the first place. We know that the Pakistani generals, number of them, enjoy and support Western style freedoms. We know how the elite in Pakistan behaves. We have seen them, how they socialize. And Taliban is the very antithesis of what these people are saying. Outwardly, they are all Muslim, the Pakistani officers. But the fact remains is that they enjoy a completely different lifestyle. Now, these two, how do they meet? How do they reconcile? And the situation today is that a very seriously deteriorating relationship, with both sides accusing each other of harboring militants and violating each other's territorial sovereignty. This cycle of retaliatory attacks says that this conflict is going to destabilize that particular part of the subcontinent even further. Thank you, General Shankar. Back to you. You're muted.
Yeah, thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot for your views. I think you made some very interesting comments. And the last one is the most interesting. This ongoing retaliatory exchange of fire, one way or the other, is only going to keep this place destabilized. One thing which came out from your intervention is that Pakistan doesn't seem to have any real answers to whatever Afghanistan is doing. Because Afghanistan or rather the Taliban is playing its game from within Afghanistan and externally through its surrogate TTP into Pakistan. And Pakistan doesn't have, for once, they don't seem to have a good response pattern. Because if the response pattern against these people are only air attacks and things like that, it is almost copying what the Americans used to do, and it'll end with no results. And this, like you rightly said, you're going to see conflict further ahead and a lot of grief for Pakistan. Right. The next question which I have, which I would like to answer. So, what role does the deep state of USA playing, or do we have any role? We have any role? General Gautam Murthy, sir, your view on this? Like people
See,
are interested in this aspect. Yeah.
the deep state of the US, I really don't know. Of course, you did mention about their equipment being maintained, and the equipment cannot be maintained unless you have the space, the know-how. You're carrying out all your preventive maintenance tasks. You're carrying out repairs. You're carrying out overhauls. I think it's just a use and throw policy. Maybe they have enough at their hands. Insofar as at least small arms is concerned, let us not forget that Afghanistan has a history of manufacturing small arms and weapons. There are foundries, and there is forging of weapons that is taking place, manufacture of weapons. We have seen it from time immemorial when they, built their rifles and took on the old Lee Enfield rifles to take on the British, and I presume some of them are still in use today. But the Afghan as such is a weapons buff. You must understand that. He may not have college knowledge, he may not have gone to a technical training institute, but they know how to manufacture the weapons, they know how to use the weapons, they know how to repair the weapons. So, insofar as small arms is concerned, yes, this could possibly be true. As far as the major equipment is concerned, unless they have some backing, they've got someone who got some knowledge in it, I find it difficult. As far as the US deep state playing a game, again, I won't lead much. I shall not give much clearance to this. Do we have any role? Sorry, we have no role at all, other than the fact that we are giving wheat, we are giving other aid. Ambassador will be able to bear me out more on this. We are maintaining contact with the regime, mainly to carry on, as I made in my opening remarks, to carry on with the projects that got stalled when the Indians completely moved out in August 2022. So, to that end, this is what I have to say. There's nothing further to add.
Uh, General Gautam Murthy, sir, your views.
Pakistan is caught between a rock and a hard place. They don't have any good choices left to them, and it is entirely of their own doing. This whole policy of snakes in the backyard has come back to bite them. Uh, Even today, as much as General Asim Munir would like to believe that he's in charge of the situation and they are, as the PM said, giving a muh tod jawab to the Taliban, there is no such thing. They are continuing to get deeper and deeper into this mire. I just hope that a conflagration on that side doesn't spill over anywhere else and is restricted to that area. Pakistan is in for a very, very long haul. As the ambassador brilliantly put it, the strategic depth is becoming strategic anguish. Thank you, sir. Thank you all for your wonderful contributions to this.